Hey guys, what's up? Welcome tonight. We have a really great show. This is SilverList After Dark. We have some amazing guests for tonight. I think you guys are going to really enjoy the show. So we're going to go around the table and around our area. I think we have an area. It's more than a table, it's an area. And introduce the girls tonight and a little bit about who they are and where they're from and what they're doing and what they're doing in life. And why don't we kick it off? Your name and what you're currently doing in life, or your little bio about yourself. It's all good. Why don't we start with you?
Hey everyone, my name is Maya Lawrence and I'm from Huntington Beach, California. Right now I currently work as a virtual assistant. So get to work from home, which is definitely nice post-COVID, or we're still kind of in COVID, so. But yeah, that's my day job, and yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. I'm Michael Lance. You're going to learn more about me later, but your name, give a small bio. Let everybody.
My name is Jessica Murtaugh. I am from the Midwest in Nebraska, Iowa. I made my way to California over the years to pursue. I'm a writer and marketing consultant and musician and actor on the side. So, yeah. And it's a pleasure to be here.
I love it. I think Chelsea's next, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Chelsea's
yeah,
next.
she has a mic.
She has a mic.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Gerald, and I am a real estate agent. I've been a bartender for many years. That's how I met Mikey and all these great people. And yeah, we're just shaking drinks and hanging out tonight.
Yeah.
I love it. And this is my wonderful co-host tonight, Mr. Aaron, over here. Very, very. I'm just gonna brag about you, since I don't want you to brag about yourself. Very, very successful guy. Has made a big name for himself in the internet space. We've known each other for about 8 years, almost going on 9 years. A very, very good friend of mine. Very, very good guy. A very, very successful entrepreneur, and kind of my partner in this whole thing that we're going. But we have a really great show for you tonight. We're gonna get into some really, really great stuff. So I say, why not just get into it? Get into the first topic, make it fun, make it lively. So let's get into the first thing that we're gonna talk about today. I think what we're gonna talk about is, let's get right into the good stuff. Who cares, right? Let's get right into dating life. I like that. I like the dating life thing. So let me tell you. So I want to know currently, what do you think about the dating world as of now? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think is the main things that are wrong, or are you just thoroughly enjoying it? Let's start with you.
Okay.
Let's just say, are you dating, or are you single, or are you in a relationship? What's going on?
Newly single.
Ooh.
Newly? How newly?
Single and ready to mingle.
4 months?
4 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're dating now.
Dating now, which basically means through an app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dating through an app.
That's just dating.
That's just dating.
Right now. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's so hard to date guys nowadays, because I feel like maybe they're just too feminist or something, and they want women to be really independent. So I don't know, I feel like I've been on dates recently where the guy didn't pay at all. He was not chivalrous at all.
I see.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like that's the type of guys that I've been
Attracting, or just getting in general.
getting in general, I guess, but maybe attracting too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For example, when you go on a date, they don't, for example, they don't offer to pay the first time, or they don't offer to, what's the main dissonance between when you're going out with a guy? For example, when you meet a guy and you're going to set up a date, what's been the main dissonance between you and him, as far as what you want?
Well, I feel like it's been 50-50. I've been on a date with a guy where he was very sweet and generous and
Sure.
would, like front the bill and everything. Which, I mean, honestly, I feel like you don't have to do that the first
Okay.
time you meet someone. Like,
So you would pay
split it
half
down the middle.
if
Yeah.
you want. You would pay half. Okay.
Which is fine. But I'm also okay with, if you want to
Pay.
then yeah.
Sure.
I'm for it. But I think, like, the main issue here is, like, guys who aren't chivalrous and
I
aren't
see.
respectful.
So let me ask you a question. That's a very interesting. It's a very interesting thing that you bring up because I feel like it's a very almost kind of controversial topic which is going around right now, which is like whether women should just stay at home and guys should take care of everything, whether like who pays what on the first date. Like I think it's a very good thing to like bring up. So I would say, so for example, the guys obviously you're going like on a date with, right away if you're like attracted to the guy, right? Mm-hmm. Like right away. I don't think you're gonna go on a date with the guy you're not attracted to.
What are we talking? Bumble, Hinge? What are we doing?
All of them. Hinge. Okay. Hinge.
Yeah.
Okay. Hinge. So chances are you're attracted to the guy because you like his pictures. Like his pictures, and he asks you out, like whatever. Okay, that's fine. So then when you get there, what do you mean by chivalrous? He's like opening up the door, paying, like what does that mean to you? Like chivalrous, like what does that mean for you? Like chivalrous.
Manners.
Yeah, definitely
Manners.
is like a key one, and like I guess just being like respectful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean I don't need a guy to like open a door for me or anything like that.
Okay.
But okay, maybe that's going back to like
Okay.
feminism and like
Okay.
can do things on their own nowadays.
Okay.
But I think men should still have that like traditional mindset of
Sure.
okay, we should be respectful and we should like take care
Sure.
of women and we should treat them well and this and that. And I feel like that's been kind of like lost in the dating world.
Sure. I would agree with that. Only in the sense because, I grew up in a very, like my dad is a very hardcore Italian guy. And like, you're going to see, I have a necklace that says 100% Italian on it. Because my dad wore that. He's that kind of guy. Like he wanted everybody to know he was Italian. Listen, if you want on a date with a girl, I got it. I'll pay you you want money to gamble with? I got you. Okay? You want you want a new Mercedes? It doesn't matter. I pay, I got it. That's what it is. And that's how a lot of East Coast Italian men are. So I get that part. And for me, I gotta be honest with you, I think there's only been 2 instances in my life where a girl has ever paid any money on a date. Like where I actually let her pay like half of the bill or something like that. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I've always paid. And even if a girl offers now, I won't let her pay.
So it's more like you insisting to pay.
Well, you know what? Because it's a cultural thing too.
Yeah.
It's a very cultural thing. Like I was taught as a man by my mother, and I was raised in the shadow of my father, that this is what a man does. Doesn't matter if she's your friend, doesn't matter if she's your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, you pay. It doesn't matter in that sense.
I think it's really interesting because I think we're stuck in kind of a weird time in our generation. Like we're raised by more traditional values.
Sure.
We want to live up to our own personal generational values.
Yes.
Being independent, being able to provide for ourselves. But, I've been caught in very similar situations where I can empathize with a guy on a date that I'm on a date with a guy.
Sure.
Especially in the culture of dating apps. You're going
Wait. Let's let her take the mic. She doesn't have a mic. She doesn't have a mic.
In the culture of dating apps, you're going on more dates probably than people normally would prior to dating apps, right?
Sure.
So from my personal experience, being asked out often and trying to actively date, when I was more actively dating, I was going on quite a few dates and trying to be respectful of, I don't know, traditional roles not necessarily being a thing that you need to adhere to anymore.
Sure.
I would always split it down the middle. Like, no. Like, I would always offer, no. I'll pay half. But then after a while, I figured out, I'm like, I'm going on more dates than these guys. I'm being asked out more
You became
often.
complacent.
And my pocketbook is suffering more. Not only that,
Sure.
but from the expectations that a woman has societally to dress nice, have hair, and I'm pretty low maintenance when it comes to those things, but it's a huge economic disparity between men and women in general, and then it comes to dating, it's amplified in a lot of ways. So in a way, is it more fair for a guy to ante up and pay?
Well, like,
that's
the thing. So like, that's the thing. Like, I was always, that's just the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
I was brought up like that. You know, my dad made the money, and my mom looked up to him, and that's just the way it was. That's how I am. I don't know any way else to be.
Yeah.
I can't. No one can. This has been 30 years of this shit. No one can unprogram that.
And that's a really romantic notion, though, too. Like,
romance.
Yeah.
My mom talked about, and I have sympathy for men that grow up with bad role models as fathers. I have sympathy because two things happens. Either my father passed away, so he left a legacy behind. That's the difference, right? But usually what happens nowadays, their father dips out, or they get divorced and the mother talks really bad about the father, right? I didn't have that experience. My mother she talked very highly of my father. My whole family talked very highly of my father. So I grew up in a very big shadow of my father, okay? And that's the only way I know how to be. I don't know how to be any other way.
he was the patriarch of your family.
He was it. He might as well have walked on water.
So
Okay.
maybe like the question is, just to like bring this back to you, is that we're still desiring as women, some women, I should say, still
Yes.
desire the traditional romantic parts of, I don't know,
Hold the mic up.
patriarchal
Yes.
positioning when it comes to dating or romance, but we're living in a very new world where we want to be able to, not feel like we're imposed upon, right? I don't know.
I'm gonna give her the mic.
Yeah.
So
What do you
I have a very
I'm not taking it to a level.
no.
Too intense.
I have a very interesting perspective on that.
Yeah.
So the perspective is basically this. I think right now there's a lot of black and white going on.
Yeah.
Either you're chivalrous or you're not, and you're like kind of like
Right.
fuck women, and I'm gonna I'm saying this in a very. It's funny. I keep but I think Italian men deal with things in a very interesting way, which I think is very kind of fun to look at. Okay, which is my dad was a very dominant guy. He was a very I make money kind of guy, I support you kind of guy, but he wasn't an asshole. He wasn't like everybody I ever talked to loved my father. They always said very high things about him. He was charming, he was fun, he was generous, but he was a man too. So I think that there's not this black and white scenario going on. I think that there's this zone that very few men get to tap into, where it's when I hear stories of my father, he was charming, he was romantic, but nobody ever thought less of him as a man. Nobody ever thought.
I think women, we want someone chivalrous that we're dating because we look up to our fathers, right? And if you don't have a role model like that, who are you going to look up to, or who are you going to look for in your future? It's weird, right? Like, the term daddy issues, where does it come from? But because we want someone like our amazing dad, if we have an amazing dad, right? So, I don't know.
And sometimes those are really like high expectations to
Right.
live up to, because if I don't even know if I could find someone like my dad. You know, 'cause he's just like.
So-
he's like the ultimate.
So I'm gonna ask you, are your parents still married?
Oh yeah.
So are your parents still married?
They are.
Are your parents still married?
No.
Oh no, but I've heard like your dad is quite an amazing guy. But it's amazing, like, so there is a thing, like, so your parents are still married, your parents are still married, your dad's an amazing guy. Like, I really, and like, you guys are amazing girls. Like, really. Like, truly, you guys are amazing. You have really strong personalities. The way you carry yourself is very, it's exquisite. It's in a very above demeanor than normal, I would say normal standards, right? And I would really, of course. And I would say, and it totally makes a difference. Like the father figure that plays a role, even as a man, it's very important, because even though I didn't get to know my father very much, I grew up with a very good role model of him. Like I told you, my mom took very highly of him. My whole family, talked very highly of him. So as a man and as a woman, it matters. And and that's what I see. The problem is that lately households are missing a good male role model, and I don't mean in like a very aggressive way. I don't mean in a very, passive way. I think both have detriments to them. Like, I think if you're too passive as a father, it's not good. I think if you're too aggressive as a father, it's too good. I think that there's this middle zone you can reach where, you can lead a household, but your daughters look up to you and they feel comfortable to you, and you're a loving father, and you're also a very strong male role model. And then I think when you establish that, if you have I mean, I don't have any children.
Yeah, like,
But-
are you thinking of father issues?
Right. But I think that if I ever had a daughter, I think for me, if I ever had a daughter, I would want her to look up to me as in, I'm this very strong male role model to her, but also somebody that she wouldn't want to disappoint. I think that's the biggest thing. Because, like, if you're going to raise children, like, especially if I'm going to raise a daughter, I'm like, okay, this is what a man should look like. And I know as a woman, you're going to grow up and you're going to make your own decisions and whatever. But I want to instill in you that you don't want to let me down.
So how does that translate into dating?
Hold
life?
on. We got to give you the mic.
I don't know. Maybe I'm loud enough.
Okay.
How does that translate into dating life, though? Because we place these expectations
Sure.
from our parents and our home lives, whether they're good or bad, onto our future partners or what we are seeking out. And so sometimes I have had people, men I've dated where they've been stuck between a rock and a hard place. And as guys, it's like they don't know, should they pick up the bill, should they not? And then like I said before, like the dating culture of dating apps, it's almost like speed dating, a little bit more. You're going on a little bit more dates, so it is like we can't constantly pay for.
So I got to go on. So Aaron.
Pay for dinners all the time.
So Aaron.
So I get it.
So Aaron, when you go out to a girl, do you pay? Who pays when you go out to a girl? If a girl asks.
Go on a date.
When you go on a date, who pays?
But what do you constitute as a date? That's one thing.
A date is when
What is
to
a
me,
date?
to me a date is when
Meeting up for the first time.
I think a date is established when there's romantic interest.
Okay, so that's not the first meetup from like.
No, there's romantic, and I asked you out for drinks. Like, when somebody asks you out for drinks or something, if there's romantic interest. Like, we're not stupid. Like, we fucking know.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Come on.
I don't know. I've seen you on a couple first dates.
Chelsea seen me on some dates. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been on some everybody's been on questionable dates. But my point is, like, when there's romantic interest, right? Even though, like, maybe there's romantic interest on their side, but you're trying to, like, avoid it. whatever. You know when there's romantic interest. So my point is, what the fuck do you do? Do you pay every time on the first date?
So when it's a date and it's, there's romantic interest. What I've noticed that's interesting, I guess, is that more girls offer to pay now.
Yes.
And more girls offer to split the bill. Like they bring it out. They used to not do that, before.
Back when you were 18.
Right. 6 months ago, yeah. It wasn't. So, which is interesting. As far as paying, though, I always offer to pay. And
But why do you do that? Why do you always offer to pay, even though if they offer to pay? Why?
Because I'm the one that's asking them out,
Okay.
generally.
Okay.
So then I feel like if I offered them out, then I'm kind of responsible, or if you ask me to come over for some food,
Right.
Hey Aaron, I'm making food, come on over.
Yeah.
And then before I come over, once I get here, you say, oh, we're going to hop in the car, go down to the grocery store so you can buy some meat. That would feel a little weird.
Right.
So it's like, because I offered it, then I kind of pay.
No, but that's interesting. See,
That's a good point.
See, I think, so again, I grew up in this culture where, you're a man. If you like a girl, you go and you tell her you like her, okay? And then you ask her out, you don't be romantic about it. Like, that's the thing I think what's lost. I think what's lost is charm and romance but the biggest thing is charming. I think that's the thing that's lost is being charming. Hold on, I gotta give you the mic because you're like empty. No, she's like, but I think
I think it's etiquette. We're talking about etiquette.
Etiquette, sure, etiquette, yeah.
Are one thing. Now the thing though is, at what point I keep getting hung up on what constitutes the romantic interest, because if you're just agreeing to meet up and all you have on our dating app culture is so different.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Chelsea's bartending and you meet up with a girl and she sees this unfold before her. It's completely different from this person looks cute. We've had a nice little chit chat on Bumble
Sure.
or Hinge or whatever. And yeah, we're going to meet up for drinks. What if you're a complete gentleman, you're a complete gentleman?
Mm-hmm.
What if you're not super into her? Are you still going to pay even though you asked her out?
You know what? I would.
There's no
I would. You know why?
It's etiquette.
I would. You know what? I would, because that is, to me, the charming thing to do.
Well, it seems
Like for me as a man,
polite, but
it's polite. No, it doesn't. You know what?
Okay, so
But-
you asked what's wrong with the dating world nowadays.
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to this. What about accessibility?
For who? For who?
For everyone. Right? Everyone. So your pool used to be as big as
Who you
the
knew.
social, right, or where
Right.
you went,
yeah.
right? So that night you meet up with 50 people or whatever in a bar, and that was your pool.
That's a great point.
And now it's like your world is your oyster.
Your world is your oyster, but it's your oyster if you're a woman, not so much if you're a man.
Interesting.
You know why? Because, you know what? Hold on. I only say this because I'm just being honest. And this is where, I'm gonna critique men that are watching this, okay? Because I think that, again, my dad was a very hardworking guy. He was that guy cared about everything. Cared about the way he looked, cared about the way he talked, he was very meticulous to detail, okay? But that's why he achieved great things. Nobody achieves great things in life just being lazy and not caring about the details. The devil's in the details, I always say. The devil is in the fucking details. Okay, like my mom told me, before your dad went out anywhere, he spent 15 minutes in the mirror doing his hair, okay? he wore $2,000 suits, and he made sure when he walked in the room, everybody knew that he was there. And that took very careful detail, and that's why my dad was a very successful guy. But that took a lot of work.
And standards.
So the problem that I have is most guys that I see nowadays, they don't want to do any work. They just expect X, but they're Y, okay? Like, they expect all this, but they're Y. And the sad part is that 90% of guys are in that category, and maybe 10 to 5% of guys are in the category that are actually doing anything, that are actually going on dates or whatever. So I would say it's become, honestly, to be quite honest with you, it's become very easy to tell who has it together and who is not. Because who has it together, you're not going to even give the time to. I'm sorry, who doesn't have it together, you're not going to even give the fucking time to. And you'll be like, dude.
How do you define having it together?
I mean, for example, if you're on a dating app and I take a picture of me in my fucking bathroom and the camera's this close to my face and the fucking like light bulb is hanging off the fucking thing, like you're just not gonna do it. You're gonna be like
putting your best self forward.
But you know what?
Those are what like men over 40 do.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like
Car selfies.
Okay.
They're everywhere.
That is what I call attention to detail. Okay? Like if I can't even play close.
Do you consider yourself like an anomaly because of that? Like you're saying that your childhood like presented you to be
Sure.
like standards and like
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I didn't have certain things in my life that gave me a head start. Sure, I'm not gonna deny that. Like, and that's the other thing that I have a problem with. I have a problem with people denying things when they clearly know it was advantage. I hated that. Like, for example, Mark Zuckerberg became a billionaire at 23. And like, these people talk so highly. Oh, well, this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, let's be honest, okay? You were in the right place at the right time. You had the talents, but you got a little bit lucky. Like, why doesn't anybody just say that? Like, I'll be honest. I'm selling my business now, right? And it's in the very high 7 figures, okay? But I'll be honest with you. Did I work hard? Absolutely, I work hard. Was I in the right place at the right time with the right? Absolutely. Was there luck involved? Absolutely. There was a lot of luck involved, and I'll admit that. But I have a problem with people not admitting that, and it really pisses me off that people don't admit that. I'll admit that a big part of my success, yes, it was work. Yes, I manifest. Yes, I had a dream, and yes, I chased it after it. Yes, absolutely. But if I wasn't in that scenario, it wouldn't have fucking happened.
Okay,
So-
so dating's kind of the same way, right?
So in the
So
sense,
if you're in the right place at the right time, you meet that person, or if you're on the right app.
like I'm not gonna deny it. Like I'm not gonna sit here and deny that looks don't matter, and that these certain things don't matter. Of course they do. Fuck yeah, they do. Like especially if you're on a dating app, looks totally do matter. Like, but also what matters is like the quality of the picture, what you write in the bio,
Selling yourself a little bit.
selling yourself.
And you're an entrepreneur. You're
Yeah.
a business person, so you get it.
I get it.
Intrinsically.
I get it. But what I also don't.
so then it's standards.
Sure. But also at the same time, I'm not going to lie and say, well, if you're any guy and you take professional pictures and you write an awesome bio, you're going to get unlimited matches online. That's not the case.
It's almost like an interview, right?
It's not the case. It's like, you know what online dating is that they took Access Hollywood that used to be on TV
Yeah.
and they fucking made it in. No. And they put it into an application. Because before, when were you able to see the most attractive people in the world? It was on TV. As soon as you shut the TV off, you were in real life.
But some people are also like trying.
Hold on.
Some people are also trying to access dating apps. Obviously, people want attractive partners or people that they are attractive to. It doesn't have to necessarily be like what is deemed attractive by every standard. But they're also looking for values. Maybe they want kids and they're having trouble finding a partner that doesn't, that, you know, wants the kids. And maybe there's, you know, there's a reason why farmers only exist.
I agree.
Right? Or
actually, I know the guy who owns Farmers Only.
Right. So there are interest-based and value-based apps.
Sure.
Not necessarily. Some people are just better at selling themselves in person, on an app, likewise. So
you know what I think totally fucked it up, and I want Aaron's input on this. What I think totally messed everything up and created a 1% view on reality was social media, was Instagram. Honestly, that's what did it. Do you agree with that? That it created a 1% of reality? And you know, you've been doing this with, you know, we've known each other for 9 years. Let's be honest. Who is getting majority of the dates? Is it the 10% of guys, or is it the 80%? Like, okay. Let's start it up now. When you were 22, okay? When you were 22 and you wanted to go on a date with a girl versus now you can go on a date with a girl, right? You're established, you're a little older, you've done very well for yourself. How hard was it when you were 21 or 22? How hard was that for you?
It was definitely harder.
Unless they were over 40.
Ooh, you tell.
Yeah.
Well, that one time.
Wait, what? We need stories.
How hard was it?
Yeah, it was different. It was harder, but the apps weren't as popular then either.
Right.
So there is, you know, there could be multiple things at play that made it harder.
I didn't tell you guys, Aaron was the biggest club promoter in St. Louis at one point. He was like the top club promoter in all of Missouri at one point. So you experienced that. But that was before Instagram was really popular.
Yeah. So, and it was right around then also that it became very easy.
Right.
But, you know, I became the top promoter for about 5 years.
Right.
So
it was just...
Yeah, I wasn't really on dating apps.
No, you were just slaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had a Tinder on my phone, though. And I look at it every now and then. I'm like, you know, maybe I'll get on it and I'll swipe for a little bit, but...
You were too busy.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron was taking 1,000 people to the club a night.
He was
easily.
IRL.
You were doing 1,000 people at a nightclub.
Yeah.
Making $6,000-$7,000 a night.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Yeah.
I know. That's when
good.
I met you. It was it was all cash too.
Yeah.
I know that because
There's some stories there.
No. I remember because it was very. He was doing all these big nightclubs in St. Louis, so he didn't have to go on dating. He didn't have to do anything. But nowadays, that is basically your business card. That is everything you're prejudged on before anything else.
What, your social media?
Do you have your Instagram?
Yeah,
even
for jobs.
Even for fucking jobs, like for fucking anything. Before they get on the phone call, I mean, we do it too, right? Like we ask the girl, put her Instagram and whatever.
So then there's judgment happening.
Right, and let's be honest.
It's playing a game. We're
all part of this fucked up game, but back in the day, right? Like the great part about it was what we're doing now. Because you can't, for me, you can't triumph personality. You just can't. You can't. And I've always had this weird scenario where you meet somebody on Instagram or whatever the fuck, and you see their Instagram and you meet them and you built this vision in your head.
Yeah.
Okay? You built this nice dreamy vision in your head, and then when you meet them, you're like, what the fuck? You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Right? Versus somebody you meet out and you're like, wow, this guy's got this amazing personality. This person's got this amazing personality. And you're like, wow, but their Instagram is total shit, right? That happens a lot too.
That's the best.
Right? Their Instagram is total shit.
I agree.
But like what? So like there's a separation between the cloud.
Excitement. That's
Right.
more exciting when you can just meet someone like organically and you don't know anything about them versus like you're looking at a dating app and you see their age, their height, their like if they smoke,
there's no
drink, what they're
mystery.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna finish the segment tonight, or get into a little bit more interesting stuff. So I have a very lovely topic tonight, and the only reason why I'm gonna talk about this because this was brought up to me, and I had a girl tell me this, but I didn't know it was like a thing. Like I never heard it before. It was called Big Dick Energy. She was called. It had an acronym and everything. She's like, Big Dick Energy. She's like,
What was that?
what was the symbol? Elephant trunk. Okay. Big Dick Energy. Yeah, that's a thing. I never heard that term before. The first time I heard it was at a bar, and this girl she just happened to tell me, she's like, you know, you have BDG, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? BDE. Yeah, or BDE. Is it BDE? Big, yeah, Big Dick. Okay, that's the wine. She's like, you have BDE, and I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, what is that? She goes, you have big dick energy. I was like, how do you know? Like what? Like she's like, I could just tell. I just know. I just know. So I just want to know, is that a thing? Is that like an actual measurement of, like, I don't know, is that a thing? Like, can you? Oh, she's gonna. Okay, let her talk. I want to know if that's a thing.
From my experience or from my understanding, it's not necessarily like an indication of something physical.
Okay.
But it is something that is more like your personality, the energy that you exude, the confidence that you exude. You know, I'm 5'4", and you know, I like to think I have good posture or whatever, and people will be like, "Oh,
you have really great posture."
I thought that you were a lot taller, and I've had people say, "Oh, that's probably just
You and Chelsea have like such good posture, like son of a, like fuck. It's like fuck. It's like good posture. It's, you know what? They have big dick energy.
No, but I think like when you have, I think it's more referring to, you know, your confidence rather than like, I can tell you're packing something big over there, mister.
Right.
Kind of thing.
No, is that a thing? Is that a thing for you?
I don't know.
Is that like, do you think that exists?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. Like you described it. Perfect. But I thought it meant like something negative, like a guy who's like entitled or something. Or, like,
Interesting.
So I don't know.
It wasn't necessarily
Okay,
about.
I have a question. So when you go on someone's profile, their Bumble, Hinge, Farmers Only, whatever, are you searching for that big dick energy, or is it just something that kind of comes as you date? Is it a qualification?
Is it a qualification? Well, okay, so this goes into the next question. Does the like size?
Of the
Does-
ego?
Well,
Call it whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I think we're starting to talk about two different things.
no. Does it actually matter? If you get in bed with a dude and you imagine, because like, let's face it, you imagine him a certain way. He's got his personality. Maybe he's got some money. He's whatever the fuck. But let's be honest, he's got a small dick. What happens then?
Then his big dick energy.
But like, do you still enjoy it, or are you tapped out?
Right? That's where the big dick energy.
No, but do you tap out? Like, do you enjoy it, or you tap out?
Tap out.
You tap out. Why do you tap out?
I mean, size matters.
That drop. That's it. Did you hear that? Size matters.
Can I
It matters. No.
Of your brain.
No, fuck that. It matters. It actually matters.
So
Yes, that's the one. That's
your perspective or your take on big dick energy coming like as a negative thing. I had never thought of that before. I guess I'd always, maybe like in my world, that I've always heard it referred to as a as describing a woman or something like she's got big dick energy.
But wait.
So maybe
Wait.
some
Wait,
people
wait,
have
wait.
never heard of it as
Wait.
like, oh,
Does
that
size
guy.
matter though? Does it? No. Let's get to the root of it. Does it actually matter?
If you,
Oh, that means it does.
no, well.
That means it
okay.
does. If you have to question it, that means it does.
Love is a powerful thing.
How much whiskey was he drinking that night?
She said love is a powerful thing.
So it
Okay, does love surpass 2 inches? I just want to know.
Oh, that's extreme.
No, that's not extreme.
That's extreme.
No,
That's extreme.
she's at least honest. Size matters.
Does.
Okay.
It does matter.
Chelsea, does size matter?
It's like 2 inches. Jesus.
She's like, of course. We've got. That's this is how it goes.
That's it.
You know what? Let's just keep it real. It matters.
Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
For
Ask
the
it.
ladies or guys.
Okay.
Would you rather be with someone who is so boring
Oh.
that every day feels like
You want to kill yourself?
5 years, or have someone who has an amazing, perfect body?
Wait.
So,
That every fuck feels like 5 years.
so every fuck fight feels like 5 years. I don't know.
Tongue twister.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, at some point the libido might wane.
Okay.
right? Like
So
when you're older.
here's the big
Maybe
question.
you can find a middle ground. Is all I'm saying. Maybe not 2 inches. Maybe like 4.5, 4. Maybe
Okay.
maybe
Where's the part of no return?
Is that the middle? I don't know.
No. Where's the
averages.
part of no? No. Where's the part of no return?
Ooh.
Where's the point of no return?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, she's got it.
I got
Okay.
it. I got it. Okay.
Where's the part? What's the size limit?
But the question that we need to ask ourselves.
Can we just put that on the Bumble profile? What's the size limit?
No.
We all got it.
I think it's not a matter of
Okay.
does size matter or how you use it, period, right? The question is what gets you off?
Ooh.
Because, as we know, let's just take a little sex ed right now.
Okay.
Some people do not get there penetratively or orally or either, right? Okay, so I'm just saying, like, you've, this is love line.
This is good.
Okay, so I'm just saying that some people's size wouldn't matter because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think that especially in a sexual relationship, you have fantasies and you have what you actually do.
Yeah.
A lot of sex, I believe, especially for girls, is mental. It's a mental thing. So my question is to you, what fantasies do you have?
Oh, I just fulfilled mine.
Oh, what is that? I just want to know. Please tell. Please tell. What is the fantasy you fulfilled? Please tell.
Okay.
Okay.
So, last weekend I had my first happy ending.
What does that mean?
Amazing.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means
Describe it. What was the scenario? Being massaged
massage
by a guy?
my deep inner thigh.
No, by a guy, right?
By a man, yes.
Was this at a massage parlor? Or like in your
My
home?
house.
Oh.
She's my new
Did he ask
I
you
don't
or
know,
like
I
did he?
can't.
I mean, I think he just like knew
Just
my
did it?
body language because I was like
Oh. And that,
gyrating. I don't know.
and that was your fantasy. That was a fantasy of
That
yours?
was my fantasy. So
Oh.
fulfilled.
Okay.
That is a thing that few people can say.
No. High five.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hold on. High five. Can we give her a high five? Fucking A. Yeah.
Be my
Yeah,
wife,
I love it.
Please.
Aaron, what's your biggest fantasy? Could be 2 girls, 10 girls, whatever you want.
Okay. I was thinking financially for a sec, but you brought it
Oh, cause yeah. You know, Aaron's a Jew.
What are your life goals?
He was like, $20 million would be a good fantasy.
Yeah, that'd be a good wire. Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's say for a second I gave you 50 million. We're on our way, but let's say I gave you 50 million. Okay, that's aside. Now you got a fantasy. What is it? Yes, thank you. And it's all saved, by the way. It's just sitting there. Right. That's the Jewish way.
Lady in the
On
What are
a,
we talking, like 2 girls,
What if you get
2 guys, and you?
you're gonna get seasick on the yacht? But like, why a threesome? Why not like an orgy? Like, why not like 5 girls or 6 girls?
Or guys.
What? That's an excellent question.
Put that
Would you ever really date seriously a bisexual male?
Wow, that's a.
A monogamous or not?
Your boyfriend, girlfriend, but he's bisexual.
But that would be, are you, okay.
The man
So
is
the
bisexual.
sexual preference, but it's still a closed monogamous
Yes,
relationship.
but you know he likes men.
Monogamous?
Okay with it.
Yes.
Are you okay with it?
Yes, but I think I would have a lot of questions because I'm curious.
All right. What's the okay?
guy.
Would you be okay with it?
I think also it would come down to
So
a conversation, right?
if I said no, okay, honestly here. If I say no, I'm not okay with it, am I not with the times? You know what I'm saying? So that's
About what's important to you.
right, but that's a big thing I struggle with is like, no, I probably wouldn't be okay with it because I'm so traditional.
No, but I think that that's okay. Like, I think that and this is just my opinion, but I think that we're pushing the boundary too far past the point of where our biological instincts kicked in. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes we're pushing too far past the point. We're like, I think it's biologically okay for you not to be okay with your dude wanting other guys.
That's totally okay.
Cause like, like that's biological. Like no one, it's just weird.
As a
It's
woman,
no.
I have this thing, like,
Okay,
I want a man
and I'm not saying it's weird as in the sense like it's not okay.
Yeah.
Like if gay men are like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I have nothing against it. I'm saying that's okay, but I'm saying
like a double standard.
it is. But I'm saying that I think that there is, and what I'm trying to say is I think it's healthy to accept everybody as who they are. I think that's totally fine, and I think that that's okay. But what I'm trying to say is, I think that we're pushing to a point where we're trying to ignore how we biologically feel. Like, I can't ignore that I biologically feel attracted to really beautiful women or like really feminine girls. Like, I can't help that. And if you try to force me another way, I can't.
I don't think anyone's trying to force you to be another way, though.
No, but I think that in certain aspects, they're not trying to force me, but they're trying to shame me for it.
That you're not more open.
Or make you.
They're trying to shame me for that, like, I like feminine, maybe petite women, right?
I think everyone has their personal preference
Right.
of attraction. But isn't that kind of what we're talking about here is like you happen to be dating a person who also happens to have a type.
But
they're attracted to.
I think the
maybe
problem
a
is when you
person
try to
like that.
shame somebody for it.
That wasn't really the question though, was it?
No. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, oh yeah. Of course, shame is awful.
I don't think anybody should try to shame anybody for it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that that's just what happens. Like, for example, if you don't want to date guys under 5'9", right? Okay, that's your preference. But I'm not gonna shame and be like, you're a shitty person for only wanting that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like everybody has their preference. Like I have my, like, and everybody's preference is different. What I'm saying is that like somebody trying to like, for example, I had somebody tell me one time. They said, well, why didn't you want to go out with her? She was a very nice girl, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honestly, she's not my physical type. She's just not. Like, it's just what I don't prefer.
That's totally okay.
But they made me feel bad about it. You know what I mean? They made me feel bad. Like, you're a fucking asshole for not, or you're a shitty person for not wanting to go out with them. And I'm like, dude, and I'm like, she's just not my physical. Yeah. She's a good girl.
Real quick story time. So I worked with a girl that had a husband who, after they got married, started trying on her clothes. And she would come home and he would be in her lipstick and her outfits. And she's like, what? Like, who did I marry? You know what I mean? So that's a whole different situation. But like, I saw that and it was a very big learning experience. I was very young and I heard, you know, she's like a little bit older than me and she gets married to this guy and you think that you're marrying someone who is a certain sexual preferenced way. And then you find out they're into something else. So being honest, I think up front is also very important.
Sure.
In those discussions, like who you're with or whatever, if you're not attracted to it or if you are, like, let's get it open on the table right now. You know, so.
Sure. Yeah, Aaron, yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes relationships, like good relationships, go deeper faster too. Because I think sometimes people try to make something work that shouldn't work, not because, you know, either the people are wrong, but just because it's, you know, they're not a good fit for each other. So I think if you're open and honest from the beginning, then you can put all the cards on the table, and then you more quickly match with people that you're more drawn to, that's more of a fit for you.
I agree. And you know what? There is this big thing now where, you know, like it's difficult to say because I think there's a vast, you know, spectrum. I hate saying spectrum, but like a vast world of sexuality. Okay, and being that I've owned this website that I've owned for a very long time, I've get to see a lot of aspects of it, right? Like, and this is where I find myself in a very interesting position because, you know, I've met married couples that have been very traditional and they fucking hate each other. They're miserable. They're
Do you think that we're meant for monogamy?
Well, here's the thing. I think that there's this variance, meaning that I've met couples that are monogamous and they've taken pride in raising children. And I believe in raising children that there's a certain household that needs to be respected. Okay, like for example, if I were to raise children for myself, like I would not want any negative energy in my household. Okay, I wouldn't want my children to respect their mother. I think very highly of her, and I would want the same vice versa. And I think that's how you raise great children. Okay, so I think in our parents' generation, that's how it was. Their job was to get married, raise great children, and, you know, preserve a legacy. Okay? I think now it's a little bit different because people found themselves, it's like this progression of, I want to move further away from misery. Okay? It's a progression of like, I want to be less miserable than I was before. Our parents were maybe miserable because they didn't achieve what they wanted to do and they had to live in this very confined box. Okay? So that led to our parents. So they lived less misery than their parents. Okay? And then we are now living the excess misery of all of them combined. Which, if you think of our grandparents or our we're living a life that they would look at us like, what the fuck is, this is some like La La Land.
Like overcomplicated?
Right, this is some like, no, if you think about it like to our great grandparents or our grandparents, this is a life of complete, this is like a circus.
I think that it does feel a lot, it's easy to be nostalgic toward previous generations and how easy, streamlined, the values just seemed black and white, slightly gray.
But we learned from that, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like there was this evolution. Yeah. So for example, like I like to give this analogy because I think it's totally great. And I was kind of talking about this earlier, which was that some men are pushing now, they want very traditional women. stay at home, cook, clean, whatever, raise kids, whatever, right? But let me ask you a question. This is a very good question I want to ask. If you were in a relationship with a guy that you really loved, you guys were committed to each other, you knew this was it for you, would you, under the right circumstance, have a threesome with another girl?
I'm like, I already have.
So that's already yes.
I guess my question to him would be,
Are you open to the idea though?
I guess I would be open to it if he would be open to having a threesome with another guy.
Ooh.
So why is it right? You know, okay, so this actually brings me back to a question. Like your friend, who you learned a lot from, I was just like trying to put myself in that position of that woman, and like, what was the biggest hurt of her finding out, coming home, her husband is like trying on which different parts for clothing and makeup. He's discovering this part of himself that maybe he didn't really know how to express to her because he didn't even know it at the time was a part of him. Do you think, because you know there are straight men who like to dress in women's clothing, it doesn't have anything to do with their sexuality. The thing that I'm curious about is, in even like putting myself in that situation, because I know what you're saying, like I can be like, I want to be desired, and I mentioned like if I was with someone who's like, I'm actually bisexual, and that was revealed to me, I would just want to communicate with them about trust and like what's the basis of a relationship, is it monogamous, what has been your experience, sexual health, all those things. But I personally have been in traditional relationships, so I like to think, you know, that's just like in theory, I'd like to think I would say yes. Going back to the question of like, what was the most hurtful thing that your friend may have felt in that moment? Was it not feeling desired, or was it, and like, this is someone that like was dishonest with me, even though maybe they didn't know that was a part of them in the first place? Or was it just like boundaries? Like,
What would you do if you dated a guy, let's say you were dating for 5 years, and all of a sudden you caught him at home and he was in your stockings and he was putting on your lipstick? What would you do?
First of all,
Oh, so we're playing dress up?
Yeah.
I know. First of all, I would be like,
This
well,
is very interesting. What would you do?
no. It's hard to, you know.
Barbie can.
I would be shocked, because I think the thing is, like, with boundaries, with your perception of someone who is versus like what you find out to be something that like they haven't revealed to you yet. Like, listen, we're learning more and more about each other every day when we're dating someone. Like, oh, I thought you didn't like mushrooms. Oh, I just started liking them. I don't know.
Sure.
Like, that's a poor example, but why do we need to limit our growth when it comes to various parts of our sexuality that have been maybe culturally stifled, repressed, and it's taboo.
So would you try to work it out?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that-
if you care about them enough, you would try to understand. I would assume I would try to understand.
Okay.
Also, I would request that they buy me some new stockings because, damn it, there's probably runs in them. Like, come on.
So you would actually try to
Yeah.
work it out with him?
Absolutely. I wouldn't. Listen.
Okay.
There are probably. I mean, I don't know. How can I say definitively whether or not there are parts of me, my sexuality, that 5 years down the line,
Sure.
I might decide I'm not just that into it, or I am into it, you know? But I think that respecting your partner's
Sure.
comfort level is a big, big part of it.
So I think that for her was a huge thing.
It was a huge thing.
Going back to what you said, they had kids, and it was kind of like, so I use the term traditional so loosely, right? Because there's so many definitions of it
But that's
and
the
aspects.
thing.
But
I think when there's
she wanted
children
a
involved in
nuclear
the story-
family, right? Where
traditional family.
right, a traditional like, okay, mommy and daddy made babies, and now this is your mommy and daddy, not your daddy, and mommy. Like, she didn't want that,
Yeah, you don't want to
and that's
confuse
kind of the road that he was headed down.
Okay.
Or that's what she thought, and that might be
Maybe
a
she
little bit
assumes a lot.
shocking.
Yeah.
But you know what? But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that brings it back to the whole thing that I was talking about before, the household, right? Like, for me, if I was confused on who my mother and father were, I don't know if I would have turned out to be the man that I am.
But listen,
I don't know.
we have to face the fact that our parents all may have been into some kinky shit, and they didn't tell us
true.
these things
For real.
or project them into
This
our
is
upbringing
true.
or our values. All right.
So, but like, how
do
do
you
you
think that if your dad was into, anal or anything
is
like
true.
that he would have like told you, taken you aside, like, hey, Mike, just so you know,
hey.
sometimes your dad likes to get pegged.
Hey.
And I don't want you to think that affects your
and you know what's
vision
funny? You know what's funny about that?
of
You know
me
what's
as
funny?
a patriarch.
And you know
Like,
what's
no,
funny?
Of course it doesn't affect.
And you know what's funny about that? My mom's actually a very dominant woman. What's actually that's the you know what? I don't put it past
And I
that.
didn't mean to use. I'm just saying.
No. And I don't put it past. My mom's I wouldn't be shocked. Honestly, I would not be shocked.
Sexuality is a
But you know what?
beautiful
You know
thing
what?
too, right?
You know what? That leads me into my next conversation. Whether people believe it or not, and whether people want to accept it or not, there is a lot of very successful, powerful men. There's a fucking show about it. You watch the fucking show. It's called Billions. There's a lot of very successful, very, very powerful men that like women beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I don't do that, but there's men that hire women to beat the shit out of them. And because they like the fact that they're not in control for that one moment of their life.
Yeah. I was just going to say it's a lot of heat, a lot
Sure.
of stress to carry. If you have a heavy financial based job or whatever,
And I think that's what creates. I think that's what creates the whole.
Well, don't you think that vulnerability is actually a really beautiful thing? And again, back to your point of how do you even grow deeper with someone if you can't become vulnerable?
I'm just putting it out there in the fact
I
that
sound like I'm.
that fucking exists. It just exists.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
You made such a good point.
It exists. I'm not gonna lie that it doesn't exist.
Psyche though is
But
interesting.
But here's where I'm gonna take it. Here's where I'm gonna take it and like really into some interesting stuff. See, like Chelsea's Italian, okay, and we get along very well, and I think we have a lot of the same sights on things. Is that the way I can just tell, like the way she was brought up and culturally, the fact that if I even say a man that does that, it's like you're like, I don't want to do
Right?
that.
Like sometimes it's just the way you're brought up and you can't help it.
And you can't help it. That's my point.
But I must say, throughout the years, I've changed so much to be so much more open
But what I'm trying to say
and
is,
accepting and loving
of
of people that are
that's
different.
emotionally. But what I'm saying is your natural instinctive.
Right, but attractiveness is just different, and that's the thing is like I don't want to be judged for not being with the times if I don't feel that attractiveness towards that person. But that's just the way of the world now.
But
I think that's fair.
there's this barrier that, like, for example, for me, there is an up standard I have to hold as a man, and that will not go away. And I don't care how many times a woman says it's acceptable, how many times it tells me it's acceptable. I understand that it is. But this is what I know. My father was this man.
Well, and I think that opens up
and
the discussion for like any gender that you are and anybody that you're dating.
But
like,
I won't
you have
do
to
it.
uphold some sort of chivalry and right. And
I won't do it because I know that maybe it's culture.
Do what? I'm kind of confused at where
Okay,
this is at.
I will not. Okay, I'm gonna put it very simple. I will not break the cultural norms of what I know to be as a man?
So no anal. I thought we were talking about that.
Whoa,
Not
what's
even a
anal?
pinky?
Like, is this stuff going in there? Is it just like,
It's in your butthole.
okay, all right, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you had a boyfriend, and he said, "I want you to do me with the strap on," would you do it?
No.
No. Okay, why? Why?
I don't have a penis.
But no, he said, I want to take you to a store and you can buy a strap on and then put you on and then do it. You want to do it?
That's just not like my role.
Oh.
I have a question. Why does it have to be one extreme or the other? Why are we viewing things, especially culturally, as, oh, you are only gay, or you are only dominant, or you only want dominance if you want a little bit of like, I don't know. If you want to talk.
No. This is better than saying, why isn't it your role? Why?
Why?
What's your role? Tell me. What's your role?
Or what do you want? And there's nothing.
What is
wrong
no? It's
answer.
no. I just want you to know, why don't you feel like it's your role?
I'm a female. Like,
Oh.
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
You wouldn't feel comfortable. So that leads me to the next question. You wouldn't be as attracted to him as a man if he asked you to do that, right? Would I be right in saying that? Would you feel less fit?
Would that like emasculate him?
No. Would you feel less desire for him if he asked you to do that?
Less desire.
Less.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There was a Broad City episode about this very thing, and it just keeps ringing.
No. Because she brought up a very good point.
Yeah.
That's not her role, because you're a woman. And honestly, and I'm not saying this as like a general sense, but I think that there's this very interesting dynamic that a lot of people will leave out, which is, for example, I can already tell from being around you, you're a very feminine, you love the feminine energy. You live in it.
But I love masculine energy.
I know, but
too.
you know what?
I think it's not even her role; it's just her personal preference.
No.
I don't think we should focus so much on roles all the time.
It's not about a role. It's about where the person lives in. Okay? It's more about where she lives in. I can tell for you live in this very absolute feminine role. Not role, but you live in this feminine world where you like a man who's strong and wants to provide, and that makes you feel like you're connected in the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably why a lot of my relationships didn't work out, because I felt like I was the one holding that masculine.
And that's where I think that there is this really nice dichotomy this nice spectrum. I think that as a whole, I think that as a baseline, every woman wants to feel that way. I think that every woman wants to feel like, at the end of the day, if I'm with a man,
Unless they're lesbian.
oh well, I can't speak for that.
I'm just putting it out there.
But that's where we come back to big dick energy. You
Right.
know? It's it's all about energy, whether you feel masculine or feminine. What do you bring to the table?
Because to me, all three of you are very feminine women. All three of you.
You too.
I think, you too, Goldstein.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Yes, you too.
Sorry, just making it light.
I think all three of you are. I think there's varying degrees of what you're open to, but I think all three of you are. And I think as a baseline, you like or will be attracted to the same masculine qualities as a man has. And I think that there's no fighting that. Same way me and Aaron will be attracted to the same feminine qualities that a female has, right? I think that's universal. I think Where it differs upon is where certain people's limits or boundaries are, right? Like I think that's where everybody's confusion seems to lie.
Okay, so Mike, so you're a man, right?
Sure.
And you have big masculine dick energy, right? As you were told. But what if you didn't? What if you had big feminine energy? Would you still be attracted to the feminine woman that you are attracted to?
It's interesting. That's the thing. Like, and I don't know if this bleeds true about me. I don't. Maybe, and this would be a great opinion about me. Like, maybe everybody can give you an opinion about. That'd be great. Aaron too.
Let's all roast him.
Let's just roast me right now. I was raised with a very predominant male figure, which was my father and my grandfather. And they were both very charming, very loving men. Like, but the women all very respected them. But they were very charming, very provider. Like my grandfather worked with his hands, and my dad worked with his mind and his personality, right? But I grew up with all women. Mm-hmm. My mom, my sister, my grandmother, and my aunt raised me predominantly. It was all women. So I got this weird spectrum of kind of like I can understand and kind of culminate both sides of what they're trying to do. And I don't know if that bleeds through in my personality. I don't know.
I think it does.
And that's what I'm trying to understand from you being around me. I don't know if it does or not.
I think.
Like, what's your perspective on it, basically, of how I act or how I am?
Okay, so
Chelsea's known me for a while, so she'll tell you.
I was like, why should
I haven't known you forever, but also being the only male in an all-female, right? You said you had
Yeah.
sister's mom,
Yes.
so you're kind of there.
Yes.
Did that make you more feminine, or did that make you kind of like the leader of the group because you assumed you had to be?
I don't know. I think it's like I definitely feel like the leader because.
Like, are you more nurturing because of
Well, for example, I think I'm the leader because at the end of the day, I want to provide for my mother and my sister, and I love my aunt a lot, and I think that at the end of the day, like there is some masculine world, like I have to protect them at any means necessary. You know, that's why I went off and did the things that I did in my life. But I also can understand because, like, dude, I was around them all the time. I heard them gossip. I heard them talk. And I heard my mom say this and that. And she raised me in that. So there also is this very strong, connection to them that I can't help. You know, like, I love Chelsea so much. Like, if she called me up for anything, I would just say yes. I would just say, yes, sure. I was like, come on. And it's not a a romantic thing necessarily, and that's the other thing I want to lead to, right? Like, okay, I've experienced women romantically, so it's not like a fucking huge deal, whatever.
It's just like caring for others.
But like, I understand, like I can empathize with something that she goes through. Okay, but I also have my male relationships. Okay, like I understand the male side too. Okay, I really do. Like that's why I have my relationships with my male friends, with Aaron or whoever, right? But I sympathize and I can understand the female perspective on things. I think within depth, within like I can't describe it, and this is not in a romantic way. But like I love and I care for Chelsea, like I do. Mm-hmm. And guys might say, "Oh, it's because you want to fuck her, it's because you wanted this." No. Like, do I think that she's a beautiful girl? And yeah, like I'll be honest, if she's just like, "Hey, Mikey, in 5 years you want to do something?" Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna lie and ignore my masculine qualities. I'm not gonna lie and say that. I'm not gonna lie and say, "Oh, I don't have 3 beautiful girls sitting around me." I'm not gonna lie about that. But do I care on this level that I can't really formulate into words?
It's like
yes.
Gender aside, we're humans and we understand each other.
But it's like
I I think it speaks to your emotional maturity
I
more than anything.
I can't describe it. It's a very hard thing to describe, in the sense of, like, for example, of course I'm attracted to each and every, like, you guys are you're beautiful people, and you're beautiful girls.
Thanks.
But like I can't it's a very hard thing to describe, and what I'm saying is that you are this very like, you are like very vibrant girl, like women, and maybe it's an Italian thing. I think it's an Italian men
Yeah,
are
maybe
like
it's
this.
just the Italian.
I think it's an Italian men are like this. I don't know what it is, but like we have this almost admiration for it, but like we can just feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just feel it in this sort of way, which is, of course, we're like, yeah.
So I have a question for you. Is that something that you haven't experienced before? Like
What?
having an actual boundary with a friend where you're like, hey, like, we're just friends, by the way, and I
Sure.
love you like that.
Yeah.
Like me being a woman.
Sure.
Is that different for you?
In certain ways, yes. In certain ways, no. You know, there is a very hard stigma in men where, and I get it. I get it. If you're a man and you haven't maybe experienced women before, there is a stigma of, you know, well, if she's just saying she's your friend, then that means you just couldn't fuck her, right? Like that's what, like, it's typically locker room talk among males, you know, like, oh, what so you can't get it in there? The fuck's wrong with you, dude? You know, kind of thing. But I think after a certain degree, you know, you start not to look at it like that. You start to be like, because there's so much more you can offer in my life than just that. Like, you know, really, like, truly there is. I think it gets to a certain point where you really can offer more, and then it gets like, I don't care. I'm
Also,
like,
it's a shame when people think and talk that way, because they're really limiting their personal relationships.
Sure.
And the things
Absolutely.
that people can bring to their lives. In my
like
opinion.
I'm pretty sure everybody, like, most, probably you guys are here because at the end of the day, maybe you think I'm a great guy, or you think I have a great, something great to offer you, or like whatever it is.
Something I was going to say earlier, it's like butting it again, but your admiration for the women in your life makes you, in my eyes, and everything I
Sure.
understand and view as a feminist, to be a feminist. One of my heroes is Gloria Steinem, and she's
Okay.
deemed to be, you know, a mother of feminism in some negative light sometimes. And she is a big elevator of men, actually, if you read
Okay.
and listen to what she says. She's an advocate of letting men and women develop and express
Sure.
their masculinity and their femininity, missing out on those things relationship wise. So men who maybe aren't able to be around their kids very often because they're providing for their families. And you mentioned growing up around women. I had a very strong patriarchal upbringing as well.
Sure.
And I feel like the beauty that I see in that, my relationship with my family, the way I seek after a life partner, which actually am very traditional, even though it sounds like maybe I'm not. I am very traditional in a lot of aspects. I do seek after that, like, traditional, like, fire between a man and a woman, some of those roles, within the bounds and the freedom to still express my femininity and the potential that I have to also elevate and amplify the masculine counterpart that I might have.
Sure.
Right? And so I think that, like, we've just put it in this box, masculine, feminine roles, whatever. And maybe, I don't know. I think it can be a really beautiful thing, just like you are.
I'm trying to put it as,
Yeah.
in
I'm
my
not saying you, but I'm just
no,
saying
I'm trying to put it as
your commentary makes sense.
in my own lived experience, and not everybody has this lived experience that I have, and everybody sees it differently. And like, I get that a lot of men struggle with other things, but you know, Aaron has a different what's your lived experience? Please tell us. I want to know. Everything I just said, what's your lived experience? I think it's different than mine.
As far as my view on you?
No,
you gotta tell me which question.
Okay, as far as what I think that you think where the masculine and feminine energy lies within a relationship, and what you feel naturally as a man to fulfill within that relationship with a woman.
So, I initially always thought that the man was kind of in charge, took care of the woman, and had that male figure, and the woman would stay home, raise the kids, maybe have a part-time job. And then it was a while ago that I don't know, I think it was something on TV, and it was just showing how two roles were different, how it was like the woman that was in charge and took care of everything.
Like, would you be okay with a woman making more money than you?
It might hurt my ego a little bit, but I'd be okay with it.
Like, let's say you married a wife and she was making $3 million a year, and you were making $1 million.
Yeah, I think I might like it. It might actually turn me on. I don't know.
Hey,
see, I love that.
it's not. Love you know what? You know what? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna fucking put it out there. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm cursing a lot, but I don't give a fuck about that either. I live in the dichotomy where I like to make more money than the girl that I'm with. I do. That's just a thing that's not gonna leave.
Do you find pressure in that?
No, it's just within my thing. Like,
Or is it the type of women that you're picking?
no, it's just that's the way I was raised. It makes me feel like a man.
It doesn't put stress on you.
I mean, I live in stress. My whole life is stress.
So you thrive on it.
That's what I know how to do. I live my life based on being stressful. Okay? If I was living a comfortable life, we wouldn't be fucking doing any of this. Okay? I'd be like, fuck this whole show. I'm gonna like sell this business, go right off, live in Mexico, and like that would be it. Okay? But my life lives on this shit. I was talking to Aaron about this the other day. I think I have this weird sickness that I like it. I like when shit is hard. I like when shit is like risky and I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow because it's a fucked up disease, which Aaron I think has kind of the opposite. He likes,
Oh, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's complete opposite.
Yeah, I hate stress.
Yes. I really kind of like it.
I get nervous about stress, but it's
like I weirdly like it. I weirdly like I don't know, some shit went wrong today, and I kind of weirdly like it because it's like this pressure, and then you're all thinking about like, okay, is this shit gonna happen? Is it blah blah blah? You're gonna come back? Because if it's too easy, then my brain gets bored.
It's almost not rewarding.
Yeah, so it's like this weird, like, why did I start doing this acting thing? I don't need to do it. Why do I gotta waste 12 hours a day on a set? For what? Because I know that it's hard and you have to get into this thing, and if you make it, it's like this whole thing. So it's like this game I get to play. It's like this weird, sick game I get to play, even though I don't need to play it, but I want to. It seems fun.
It's like life, but Vegas.
Right. But it's like
You've also framed it for yourself so differently than other people.
You
framed stress, and I think I was listening to a podcast once. I can't remember what the podcast is. Damn. Maybe Ologies, maybe. It's a science podcast, and it talks about how we, receive stress, and it talked about the specialist who was interviewed talked about how the most successful people in the world with their businesses or whatever frame stress differently. They frame fear differently than we do.
Yeah, I weirdly kind of like it. I don't know why.
They don't use the term "I'm stressed out." they're like, yes,
No.
I was really scared during that moment where I thought I was going to lose
Everything.
millions of dollars, but I was there and I took a hit on, and that's kind of what you're describing.
But even if I do, there's like this weird sick side of me that I like want.
challenge.
I want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like I kind of.
You're an artist, though.
But like I want it to happen. Like I want it to be like, oh yeah, like I don't have anything. Cool. Like let's go.
Yeah, I don't want that at all.
Let's go. See, Aaron doesn't want that at all. No, he moves us further away from possible.
Yeah, I just deal with the stress because it's what's needed to accomplish.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day when we were working, and we were setting.
That's like your chemical makeup too. Like,
That's what makes us good. Yeah.
I don't know. I view it like you do. I mean, I'm not good with stress.
Right.
But I think that's why you're so successful in what you do and you have this entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
Because you thrive in those environments and you look at fear and you're like, the fuck are you? You know?
Right. Like I want it. I want it to happen. Like I want shit to get fucked up. It's not good. Because, you know, him and my other business partner, I've had this business partner for 5 years. It's the guy that we're selling our business now. And he's similar to Aaron. Not quite, but he's very similar. He's Jewish too. Go figure. And he doesn't like risk. He tries to take the least riskiest road as possible, which I attribute a lot of our success to, right? So he tries to take the least riskiest route, and like this is why he's like, listen, Mike, we have this offer, we should take it. And I'm like, you know, I like seeing money, so I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it, you know.
How often does it work out for you when you take those big risks?
I'll be honest with you, in the big scheme, it's worked out good. Because
So is it the more risk, the more reward?
no, I think it depends. I just think that I have this. I think it's the. You have people over here that take risk, but they take it in a very loosey-goosey, non-effective manner. Okay? I think the reason why maybe it's panned out, or it's going to pan out, is because I take risks, but I gain the respect of guys who don't. Aaron Goldstein doesn't take a lot of risk. My business partner now doesn't take a lot of risk. The guy that owns his house that I've known for 9 years,
Aren't you taking a risk being business partners with this risky guy?
That's a good point.
Right. So let's ask Aaron. So why does he do business with me? Why? If I'm fucking this, you know, if I am the way that I am, there's some element that you trust.
Yes. I thought about this a lot.
Yes.
So I like the fact that, like, I'm very conservative with stuff. And I'll take calculated risks, which I will.
Sure.
But and you don't do anything crazy either.
Right.
Right. You do everything within your own means. But you have a very good business sense.
Yes.
So because when I started business, everything failed. I tried this, it failed. I tried this, it failed. I don't know, I couldn't sell
You tried a lot of
anything.
stuff that failed.
Yeah.
Yes.
For like 5 years.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's try the restaurant and it was all messed up.
Yeah.
But now I understand good ideas.
Yes.
'Cause I've been doing it for a while. Just like if you do anything else for 15 years, you'll get really good at it. And everything you say just makes sense in my gut about business. It's very strange. Because people text me and call me and they got all these ideas and they're all stupid.
It's all bullshit.
They don't know what they're doing, right?
Yes.
It wouldn't work in the market. The market would not reward it.
Yes.
But everything you say, I can feel it's right. It's
Right.
correct. And I know it is.
Right.
I know it logically, and then I can feel it in my gut.
Ah.
And I'm going through a thing more where I'm listening to my gut, and it's like a whole big thing. But yeah.
Yeah. And but that's it. And like that's all I can really explain. Like I know I can sense where it is, and I think that's where people have like a business head or a business like thing. Like
That's some big dick energy right there.
Oh, now we're getting into it.
Full circle.
Right? It's gone full circle. But I think that's what it is. Because I see that too. I see people take a lot of risk, or guys take a lot of risk, and I hear them talk, and they come to me all the time. They call me on the phone. They're like, Mike, and I'm like, dude, what? Right? And I just say, hey, I don't know what to do with that. But I think there's this finesse that it takes. But there's a finesse that I don't have that you have. Aaron has another finesse
That you don't have.
that I don't have. Like I'm very much like, dude, just pay that guy what he wants. Like, I don't give a fuck. And Aaron's like, no. We can get it for cheaper. And I'm like, oh, you talk to him then. And then by him, we get it for cheaper. And because, he has no regards about that. I'm like, dude, just like, whatever. I'm like, just pay the guy what he wants. Let's just get it done. And my business partner's a lot like that. The other Sean's is like that too. He's very like, the thing I like about what you is you'll take what I do and you'll refine it just a little bit more to where it can be, financial sensible. Well, if you guys want to see more, we're going to be filming more episodes very, very soon. We'll have very, very amazing guests like we've had tonight. Please follow us at the SilverList After Hours podcast. It'd be lovely to have you. Please check out our Instagram, at the SilverList. You can find all of our latest content there, all of the exclusive events that we're doing, and the lovely guests that we're doing. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. You guys have all been extremely great. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Hey!
First one completed.
Good job.
All right. How did it... I was like snuffling.